What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And the world of wrestling has lost another legend. Wrestling legend Kevin Sullivan, who was infamously one of Hulk Hogan's biggest rivals in the 1990s, has passed away. His death was confirmed this morning. He was 74 years old. While the cause of death is not known at this time, Kevin Sullivan did suffer what has been reported as a devastating injuries in an accident that he suffered in Florida earlier this year while he was in Florida in an autograph signing event or tour. And whatever accident that occurred, there's no details about it. It was reported, but he suffered from some very life-threatening complications, including encephalitis and sepsis. And he had to have an emergency operation to save his leg. But ultimately, it's believed that his passing is related to that incident, though it's not been confirmed. Kevin Sullivan began his amateur career in the 1970s and made a name for himself nationally when he entered championship wrestling from Florida back in the 80s. Of course, this is back when wrestling was still a territorial sport. You know, you had the Southern wrestling, Midwest, Northeast. It was only when Vince McMahon took over WCW that he truly tried to nationalize the sport of wrestling. He was best known as the Prince of Darkness, a persona that he created sometime in the late 70s, early 80s, and it sparked up rivalries with Dusty Rhodes and Barry Windham, among many others. Sullivan eventually made his way to WCW, which is when I remember him, in the 1990s. And in the mid-1990s, he kicked off a feud with Hogan that led to some legendary matches between the two titans. As a matter of fact, I remember he created a faction. I think it was called the Dungeon of Doom. And he was the leader of the Dungeon of Doom. And basically, they were there to rival the NWO, the New World Order. This is when Hulk Hogan turned to a bad guy, went heel. But that didn't stop Kevin Sullivan. He did not like Hogan. I think it was actually personal. I don't think it was just for show. I think he really didn't like him. But hey, they were created to rival the NWO and to kick him out of WCW. He also had rivalries with the late Chris Benoit, who, by the way, Chris Benoit married Nancy Benoit, who he ultimately offed in 2007, if I remember correctly. I don't even want to get into that. It was a horrible, horrible tragedy. But Nancy was initially married to Kevin Sullivan. So I'm pretty sure that had something to do a little bit with the rivalry. In retirement, Kevin Sullivan worked as a booker for WCW. And following the news of his passing, Ric Flair remembered Sullivan as, quote, an all-time great athlete and friend. I am so saddened to hear about Kevin Sullivan's passing. Rest in peace, Kevin. Kevin Sullivan was 74 years old.